from Capitol Heights, Maryland. Here is Gary Russell Jr.
It's a pleasure being here. We had a very, very long training camp. As a reigning world champion, I wouldn't expect anything less. You know, Jojo Diaz, he worked his way up the rankings to be the #1 contender to fight for the WBC world title. He already mentioned that I am the best fighter in the division and that the other world champions in the division are afraid to step in the ring and compete against me. I take my hat off to him and to his team for having the guts to be able to actually step into the ring. It takes a certain type of individual, you know, to actually participate in the sport of boxing, you know, and for him to want to get in the ring and compete against the best of the best speaks volumes about him as an individual. And as a champion, I wouldn't expect nothing less than a worthy opponent. We 120% ready. We hungry. As long as we got this strap, can't nobody walk down the street. I know he's gonna bring his physical best to the table, but we ready. We ready, my little brothers. They fighting on the undercard, Antonio Russell as well as Antoine Russell. Like I say, my father's birthday will be the 20th, a day after the fight. It's ironic that both of us are trained by our fathers. You know, I think that's pretty cool because at the end of the day, when you're looking at your coaching, that's your last line of defense. When everything else goes wrong in the ring, you go to your corner and your corner gives you the instructions to tell you what's going wrong, why it's going wrong, and how to correct it. You have to have a level of trust and belief in your corner. You know, how much trust can you give when this is coming from your parents, when it's your father telling you what to do? It makes it much easier for you to go out there and execute it and get the job done. So I'm ready. Third title defense. The strap stay home, y'all. Y'all know what it is. Grind time. Yeah.
Gary Russell Jr., ladies and gentlemen, the WBC featherweight champion of the world. Now it gives me the great honor and pleasure to introduce, you know, we have a champion here. We have a young man who believes he will be a future world champion on Saturday night, but also in life, we have a man who's a champion himself. And what I mean by that is Brian Custer has been dealing with cancer, and cancer cannot get him down. He constantly beats cancer. He's a champion in his own right. Aside from the fact that he's a heck of an on-air talent, being the host of Showtime Championship Boxing, he does not let cancer get him down, and he's beaten it time and time again. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome. He's going to ask the fighters a couple of questions. He's a class act on the mic and off the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Mr. Brian Custer.
Ray, thank you very much. You guys want to hear from the fighters? Just got a few questions for you. Champ, let me start with you. You know, since you faced, I think it was Vasily Lomachenko, that was about 4 years ago.
Correct.
Is Jojo Diaz the best fighter that you've faced since that time, considering he's the first unbeaten fighter that you've faced since your second pro fight?
Honestly, it's very, very difficult for me to answer that question. And the reason why is because I never really worry about my opponents that much. I think the biggest thing is preparing myself to the best of my ability and being the best that I could possibly be. I never really focus on my opponents. I believe in my ability to make the necessary adjustments no matter what my opponent brings across the ring. If he wants to come in there and box, we have the ability to be equally as comfortable boxing long range. If he wants to come in and be rough and rugged and make it the fight in the phone, we can be comfortable and do that as well. I think in order to be great at anything, you have to have a level of versatility, and I feel as though that's something that I bring to the table that a lot of fighters don't bring.
Jojo.
Yeah.
You know, Gary has used a number of analogies for this fight. We had a discussion on the air one time, and he said this fight, he sees it like a lion going after his prey. He's described Saturday that it's going to be a massacre. Do you think the champion's overlooking you?
Absolutely. I truly think that he underestimated me.
I hope that he started realizing that I'm the real deal after the press conference and started taking this camp seriously. I trained this for my whole entire life. I'm ready for this opportunity. I know that this opportunity is presented to me not only because of my hard work, but it's by God as well. I feel like this is the opportunity of a lifetime and the opportunity that I'm really going to go out there and showcase my skills to the whole world and to showcase to everybody what I'm really truly about.
You know, I read somewhere where you said, listen, I've seen some flaws in the champion. I'm going to be the bigger fighter, maybe go to the body. How do you combat speed?
It's all about timing. I mean, Gary Russell Jr., he does have the fastest hands in boxing. But like I said, we watched a lot of tape, and we do see a lot of flaws in his game. Just like everybody, every other fighter, no fighter's perfect. Everybody has flaws in the game. So we're just gonna capitalize on what we see and take full advantage of it come Saturday night.
Champ, are you overlooking him?
Nah, I'm definitely not overlooking anyone. Anyone that has 8 to 10 weeks to prepare for no one else but you is definitely a dangerous opponent. We never overlook anyone. Like I say, my biggest objective is to prepare myself to the best of my ability. You know, I believe in my ability, I believe in my punching power, I believe in my hand speed, I believe in my ring generalship, and I believe in the ability to make the necessary adjustments. That's exactly what we're going to do. We never overlook nobody.
You fought once, basically, a year for the past 3 years.
Correct.
Is this the year we see Gary Russell Jr. multiple times in the ring?
I mean, I would love for this to be the year. You know, the #1 contender, he already made the statement that I am the best fighter in the division. You have to understand the concept of business. A lot of the fighters, as well as the managers and promoters, aren't willing to step and put their fighter in the ring against Mr. Gary Russell Jr. As prize fighters, we get paid based upon our ability to be able to produce. When you look at these managers and promoters that invested a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of energy into their fighters, it's not a good investment to put their investment into the ring with Mr. Gary Russell Jr. because their chances of producing is very, very slim. I would love to compete. I've been calling out all the other world champions in the division. None of the other world champions has answered me calling them out. You know, I've been stuck with dealing with having to compete against my mandatory challengers. We're willing to do that. If God willing, we get through this bout. I would love to get a unification bout with any of the guys, once again, that's in my division. Lee Salisbury will be competing the same day that I'll be competing. He has the IBF title, that's a unification bout. Another champion that I already approached that we wanted to try to get a unification bout with. Leo Santa Cruz and Abner Mars will be fighting soon after me and JoJo
June 9th
in June.
On Showtime Championship Boxing.
Exactly. So the timing would be almost perfect for any of these unification bouts to happen. If it doesn't happen, then I'm willing to move up and weight anywhere between the weight divisions of 126 to 140 to meet any of these guys that do have a name in the catchweight. It's time to make it happen.
He's a very active fighter. One of the things that he believes will be an advantage for him is because he has been active and you fight once a year, maybe ring rust will be an issue for you. Will it be an issue?
I mean, everyone has opinions and everyone's entitled to their opinion, regardless of the situation. This will be my 3rd title defense. Both of my other title defense were equally a year apart. You've seen no ring rust. I look equally as sharp, if not even sharper, whenever I do compete. Once again, it's no secret that I have had hand injuries in the past. The fact that I don't compete as often, it gives me the ability to preserve my body. I preserve my hands, I preserve my body, I stay in the gym, I stay shaped, and I stay strong.
How much of an advantage you think your activity will be in this fight?
I personally think that there's no advantage. Like Gary Russell said, he fought 3 times for a year. He took a layoff, and he fought again for a year, and he took a layoff a year. So I feel like there's not going to be no advantage. I personally wanted Gary Russell to be at his best come fight night, and because I know I'm extremely at my best, so I want the best man to win that night, and I want the loser just to acknowledge the winner and make sure that there's not going to be no excuses that it was because of a layover or because of an inactive camp or any of that. I just want that acknowledgement, and where we can have that respect for both fighters.
You called Gary the best featherweight in the world. You're victorious Saturday. You become the new champ. Are you the best featherweight in the world at that point?
Yes, I will be. I'll be on top of the throne, and then hopefully I could get some big fights out in LA.
What would it mean to you? I had the opportunity to do some of your early fights. What would it mean to you to be the WBC featherweight champion?
It'll mean everything, not only just for myself, but for my family as well, for my mom, my dad. Just all the hard work, man. I get emotional just knowing that all the struggles that we've been through, man, it's finally here. And I'm going to do everything possible to come out victorious. And after this, our lives are going to change. Not only that, I'm going to inspire my youth, inspire all the people around me, just to know that dreams do come true. And the come up is real. As long as you put your mind to it, anything's possible.
And so, JoJo, when you go to sleep at night, I'm sure you imagine the fight's probably going to go like this, probably do this, do that. What has come to your mind when you've thought about this fight and what's going to happen Saturday night?
Yeah, I seen everything that he's going to offer. I feel like he's going to want to box a little bit, move around, use his jab, create angles, try to use his speed to, keep me at distance and at range. And then it's going to come to the point where he's not going to want to move as much, and then he's going to want to bang on the inside. And I feel like that's what I want to be, and I know he's going to want to be there too, because we're going to be exchanging and delivering some great blows to the fight fans and let the